The 1980s were a velvet smooth crossroads for R&B, a place where quiet storm tenderness met the rising pulse of electronic grooves. These are 15 R&B albums from the 1980s that shaped the decade, colored the culture, and still echo through the music we hear today. Number 15, Rapture by Anita Baker. Released in 1986 on Elektra Records, this album arrived just as R&B was shifting towards slick digital production. Anita Baker chose a different road. She leaned into warmth, into instruments that breathed, and into a vocal style rich with lived experience. During recording, she often insisted on capturing entire performances in a single take because she believed emotion could not be stitched together in pieces. You can almost feel the soft glow of the studio as she shaped each note, like a sculptor molding clay into something timeless. When Rapture reached listeners, it did not blast through the charts. It gently caught them, held them, and never let go. Multi-platinum sales and Grammy wins followed, proving that intimacy still has power. If this album is the sound of quiet confidence, the next one arrives with fearless attitude. Number 14, Street Songs by Rick James.
The very kinky girl, the kind you don't take home to my...
Rick James kicked into 1981 with an album fueled by raw funk spirit and the glossy shine of R&B radio. Recorded for Motown's Gordy label, this was the project that turned him from a boundary pusher into a chart-commanding presence.
The freak, so the freak, she's a very special girl.
The sessions became the stuff of legend. Musicians recalled nights where Rick pushed the band to keep playing long after sunrise because he believed the best grooves showed up only after everyone was too tired to think. The result was a record that felt alive.
She's got incense, wine, and candles. It's such a freaky scene.
You can picture smoky clubs, neon signs flickering over packed dance floors, and audiences moving as one to bass lines that stomped rather than stepped. When Street Songs arrived, it shook the decade. The album soared up the charts, pulled funk into the mainstream.
She's a very kinky girl, that kind you won't take home to...
And delivered tracks that still ignite dance floors. If this was the sound of rebellion wrapped in rhythm, our next album brings the heart first and the heat second. Number 13, Sweet Sensation by Stephanie Mills.
Strange came over me, 'cause I never...
Released in 1980 on 20th Century Fox Records, this album marked a defining moment for Stephanie Mills. After years of proving her vocal power on Broadway and in early recordings, she stepped into this project ready to craft a sound that blended youthful romantic energy with grown woman confidence. The production team built lush arrangements that wrapped around her voice like velvet, and the studio atmosphere became a creative sanctuary.
And I just wanna let you know.
One famous story from these sessions tells of Mills spending nearly an hour perfecting a single sustained note because she wanted it to land with pure emotion rather than technical precision. Listening today, you can imagine warm summer nights, windows open, radios humming with anticipation, and her voice floating through the breeze like a promise. Sweet Sensation became a breakthrough success and solidified her place in R&B history. And if this album is a celebration of love, the next one captures the soul of a city alive with music. Number 12, Live in New Orleans by Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, released in 1981 on Capitol Records. This album arrived at a moment when Maze had already earned a loyal following, built on sincerity, musicianship, and the unmatched warmth of Frankie Beverly's voice. Instead of a polished studio project, they chose to capture the magic of their live shows. The Superdome crowd became part of the recording, their energy rising and falling with every groove. The band delivered extended jams, soulful improvisations, and vocals that felt lifted straight from the heart. One memorable detail from the concert is that Frankie Beverly insisted on minimal retouching in post-production. He wanted the album to reflect the night exactly as the fans experienced it. When listeners put on the record, they felt transported to New Orleans, hearing the roar of a crowd, the shimmer of guitars, and the pulse of a band completely connected. The album strengthened Maze's legend and remains one of the most beloved live R&B albums of the decade. If this is the sound of a community moving together, the next album is the spark of a singular force. Number 11, It Must Be Magic by Tina Marie. Released in 1981 on Motown's Gordy imprint, this album captured Tina Marie at the height of her creative freedom. By this point, she had earned respect not only as a vocalist, but as a producer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist. She poured all of that independence into this project. Stories from the studio tell of Tina working late into the night, layering harmonies and experimenting with arrangements until every element felt true to her vision. When you hear this album today, you can imagine the quiet glow of a control room, the scent of warm tape reels, and Tina stepping forward with unwavering spirit. The songs blended funk, jazz, and classic R&B into something unmistakably her own.
You're ready to really party!
When It Must Be Magic hit the shelves, listeners heard an artist stepping into her full identity. The album became a touchstone for musicians who admired her fearlessness. And if this album is the sound of artistic freedom, the next one takes us straight into the heart of early 80s groove. Number 10, Pray, by the SOS Band, released in 1982 on Taboo Records. This album marked a turning point not only for the group, but for the future of R&B production itself. It was among the earliest collaborations between the SOS Band and the rising songwriting and production duo Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
It's like you got me hypnotized, boy.
Their chemistry was instant. In the studio, Jam and Lewis introduced a sleek approach that combined warm analog textures with the emerging world of drum machines and synthesizers. Musicians recall the excitement of hearing those crisp electronic rhythms blend with Mary Davis's emotive vocals for the first time.
Just can't get enough of you.
Close your eyes and you can picture the dance floors of the early 80s glowing with colored lights. Couples gliding across polished floors, and club speakers filling the room with a sound that felt futuristic, yet soulful. The album charted well and quickly became a blueprint for modern R&B and electronic funk. And if this record captures innovation meeting emotion, the next one brings pure storytelling wrapped in master-level production. Number 9, Hearsay, by Alexander O'Neal. Released in 1987 on Taboo Records, this album stands as one of the defining achievements of late-decade R&B. Once again guided by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the project embraced a bold concept.
When they need someone to pin it on.
The entire album plays out like a party where every track reflects a different conversation happening in the room. This gave the music a sense of movement and personality that felt new for the time. Alexander O'Neal delivered vocals with both grit and charm, giving life to every scene. Those who were around during recording recall O'Neill's powerful studio presence, often capturing full takes with intensity that left everyone silent afterward. Listening today, you can almost feel the living room speakers vibrating as friends gather, laughing, dancing, letting the night unfold naturally. Hearsay produced hit after hit and helped shape the era's polished R&B sound. And if this album is a night out told through music, the next one is a warm invitation into the richness of love and longing. Number 8, Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. Released in 1981 on Epic Records, this debut album introduced the world to a voice that felt instantly timeless. Luther Vandross had already paid his dues as a background vocalist and arranger. It's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. But this project marked his arrival as a fully realized solo artist. He recorded much of the album with a perfectionist's ear, often returning to the studio late at night to fine-tune harmonies until the blend felt effortless. Just don't wanna stop. Engineers remember him stepping into the booth with complete calm, then delivering takes so smooth they seem to glide through the air. When you listen today, you can picture softly lit city nights, couples slow dancing in living rooms, and radios glowing beside open windows as Luther's voice filled the air. I just don't wanna stop. Never Too Much climbed the charts and set the tone for a career built on elegance, emotion, and precision. If this album is a warm embrace, the next one invites you into a world of cool sophistication and quiet strength. Number 7, Diamond Life by Sade.
Diamond light, lover.
Released in 1984 on Epic Records, this album arrived with a sound unlike anything else on the charts. Sade Adu and her band crafted a blend of soul, jazz, and jazz and pop that felt both luxurious and deeply human.
No need to ask, he's a smooth operator.
The sessions took place in London, where the band focused on minimalist arrangements that allowed every instrument room to breathe. Those who witnessed the recordings remember Sade singing with a soft but powerful presence, often closing her eyes and swaying gently as she delivered lines with emotional clarity. Listening now, you can imagine dim lounges filled with cigarette smoke, city streets after rainfall, and late-night drives lit only by passing headlights. Diamond Life became an international phenomenon and cemented Sade as a symbol of serene artistry.
No need to ask, he's a smooth operator.
If this album is the cool of night, the next one brings the heat of passion and the rich harmony of a legendary family group. Number 6, Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers, released in 1983 on T-Neck Records. This album captured the Isley Brothers in a period of transition and reinvention. The group embraced evolving production styles, leaning into sensual grooves, shimmering keyboards, and the unmistakable guitar work of Ernie Isley.
You'll need is candlelight and a song.
One famous story recalls the band spending hours experimenting with drum machine patterns to achieve the soft, hypnotic pulse that defines the title track. When you play the album today, it evokes memories of candlelit rooms, quiet conversations, and moments when time seemed to slow.
Going through my mind with these soft as can be.
Between the Sheets was a commercial triumph and became one of the most sampled R&B albums in hip-hop history. And if this album wraps you in atmosphere, the next set of records on our list brings even more unforgettable moments.
I'm living for the love.
If these classic albums are sparking memories, tap the mic button. It helps keep this musical journey alive. And stay tuned, because 5 more unforgettable records are on the way. Number 5, I Feel For You by Chaka Khan.
Shaka Khan, let me rock it, Shaka Khan. Let me rock it, that's all I wanna do, Shaka Khan.
Released in 1984 on Warner Brothers Records, this album marked a bold new chapter for Chaka Khan. Already respected as one of the most powerful voices in R&B and funk, she stepped into this project ready to explore the cutting edge of electronic production. The title track famously features a guest appearance by a young hip-hop pioneer who delivered one of the most unforgettable introductions in music. Behind the scenes, producers mixed live instrumentation with the rising sound of synthesizers, creating a fresh landscape for Chaka's soaring voice. Engineers recall her stepping into the booth with fearless energy, often transforming a song on the spot with a single improvised run. When you listen today, you can picture break dancers spinning on cardboard squares, boom boxes thumping on street corners, and clubs buzzing with excitement as this album bridged R&B, pop, and hip-hop. The project became a global success and pushed genre boundaries in ways still felt today. If this album is the thrill of reinvention, the next one is the sound of a seasoned artist reaching for new emotional heights. Number 4, Winner in You by Patti LaBelle. Released in 1986 on MCA Records, this album represented a triumphant return for Patti LaBelle. After years of evolving through different musical eras, she embraced this project as an opportunity to craft a sound that balanced vulnerability with powerful vocal performance. The sessions were intensely focused. Producers recall Patti walking into the studio dressed elegantly, greeting every musician warmly, then diving straight into the takes that filled the room with her unmistakable presence. One standout moment came when she delivered a moving ballad in a single take, leaving the entire control room silent. Listening today, you can imagine nighttime drives with headlights stretching out into the distance, radios softly glowing, and Patti's voice rising like a guide through moments of heartache and hope. The album soared to the top of the charts and earned her new generations of fans. If this record captures triumph wrapped in tenderness, the next one brings a blend of futuristic rhythm and London cool. Number 3, Zagora by Loose Ends.
Hold me like a curly.
Released in 1986 on MCA Records, this album showcased the unique brilliance of a British R&B trio that found their stride by blending smooth soul melodies with emerging electronic textures.
But don't you stay.
Recorded in both London and the United States, the project reflected a cross-cultural synergy that felt fresh for the mid-'80s. Band members recall long studio nights experimenting with synthesizer pads and drum machine grooves until they struck the perfect balance between warmth and modern polish. Listening today, you can picture neon cityscapes, quiet late-night walks, and the gentle hum of streetlights as the music flows with understated elegance. Zagora climbed international charts and helped the group break into the American market. Influencing future R&B and neo-soul production with its sleek approach. If this album feels like the calm before a storm, the next one is the moment the decade shifted into a bold new identity. Number 2, Control by Janet Jackson.
Control. And I've got lots of it.
Released in 1986 on A&M Records, This album reshaped not only Janet Jackson's career, but the entire trajectory of pop and R&B. Working with producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, she stepped out of the shadows and declared her independence with a sound that was punchy, confident, and rhythmically groundbreaking. Witnesses to the sessions remember Janet's relentless work ethic. She rehearsed choreography during breaks, perfected vocal takes with laser focus, and helped develop the album's themes of self-empowerment. When you hear Control today, it evokes a vivid image of fast-moving city streets, boomboxes blasting from apartment windows, and a young woman claiming her voice in real time. The album produced a stack of major hits and inspired a new generation of artists to combine personal storytelling with high-energy production. And if this album is the spark of empowerment, the #1 spot belongs to a visionary who transformed every genre he touched. Number 1, 1999 by Prince, released in 1982 on Warner Bros. Records. This album was a seismic moment in music history. Prince stood at the threshold of global fame, already known as a prodigy, but now stepping fully into his identity as a multi-instrumentalist, producer, and visionary. The sessions for 1999 were famously intense. Prince often worked alone, moving from instrument to instrument with relentless focus, sometimes going days with barely any sleep. Those who visited the studio described the atmosphere as electric, as if creativity itself lived in the walls. When you listen today, you can imagine city streets glowing with neon, crowded clubs pulsing with anticipation, and a sense of freedom rising through every synth line. The album bridged funk, rock, pop, and R&B in a way no one else had achieved, establishing a blueprint for the entire decade. Its songs became cultural anthems, and its sound still echoes through modern music. If this album is musical rebellion made real, then this entire list reminds us why the 1980s remain one of the richest eras in R&B. These albums carried romance, grit, invention, and soul into a new generation. They shaped the decade and inspired countless artists who followed in their footsteps. Thank you for taking this journey through the forgotten gems and timeless classics that defined the era. Subscribe to keep the groove alive and never miss the next deep dive. On the end screen, be sure to tap our next video, 15 R&B albums from the 1970s that changed music forever. Forgotten gems. Let's keep the music playing.